Welcome. This is Jugglord Zero, and I am bringing to you a list of Imperial units that I would like to see brought into Star Wars Legion. This list will be broken into two sections: Canon units and Legends units. I'll do the Canon units first, then Legends. These are just units I would like to see in Legion. If you have some other units you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. But now, let's get started. The first we have Canon commanders. I'd like to see General Tag brought in. General Tag was on board the Death Star and was the only one who vocalized a concern that a weakness could be found with the Death Star. Shortly after the meeting on the Death Star, Tag was assigned the duty to investigate Princess Leia's claim of the rebel base being on Dantooine. After the Death Star was destroyed, Tag was given a promotion to Grand General by the Emperor for his foresight to recognize the rebel threat. While we don't see much of his leadership abilities on screen, we do get an idea of the type of leader he was in the Darth Vader comics by Marvel. Next we have Moradmin Bast. He was a general of the Imperial Army and served as chief aboard the Death Star. He died aboard the Death Star when the rebels attacked it in the Yavin system. Not much is known about his leadership abilities, so he'd be kind of an unknown when it comes to what kind of leader he would be in the game. Next, General Kenner Loring. He served in the Imperial Army. Late into the Galactic Civil War, Loring was promoted to the rank of Grand General. Not being able to find much about this general, but I just want a variety of commanders and other units, so this is a good option for that. Next, we've got the core units. This one is Death Troopers. They were an elite force of stormtroopers that were a part of the Imperial intelligence. They served as bodyguards for important high-ranking officers. Occasionally, they were also sent on special missions. Being elite troopers, they had special training in a variety of skills. When I was looking up these guys, I wasn't sure if they should be listed as a core or special forces. I would lean a bit towards special forces, but I also want some options for a variety of core units. Kind of the same way with this group here, the 501st Battalion. The 501st, aka Vader's Fist, was originally a clone trooper unit that served directly under Darth Vader himself. The members of the 501st were the best at what they did. The 501st was even with Vader during the assault on the rebel base on Hoth. This is another unit that could fit into either the core category or special forces category. This one I'd probably lean a little bit more towards the core units. Next, we've got special forces. We've got the Storm Commandos. The Storm Commandos were an elite special forces unit that was trained to deal with extreme combat situations. They wore dark-colored version. Storm Commandos were an elite special forces unit that was trained to deal with special combat situations. They wore dark-colored versions of the Scout Trooper armor. This unit is kind of self-explanatory as to where it should fit. Next, we have SCAR, Special Command Advanced Recon, or Task Force 99 as they were known in the comics. They were an elite stormtrooper squad. Wasn't able to find much information about this unit as a whole, other than the individuals. I believe, after what I've read, Special Forces is the best fit for this unit. Next, we've got support. This one is the All-Terrain Defense Turret. It's a little bit smaller. It's smaller than an ATST. Has an open-air cockpit with only one pilot that also ran the guns as well. The way I'm looking at the support class, at least right now, is as a light vehicle category. I even think some squads, some units could potentially be a part of this category, especially if we were to get a heavy stormtrooper unit. Next, we've got an interesting looking vehicle for sure. This is the INT-4 Interceptor. It looks odd. It's basically a ATST cockpit with repulsor units and stabilizer wings. It also comes equipped with 2 laser cannons and an impact hammer. The impact hammer is kind of nice because it has the possibility of doing. I'm not exactly sure what an impact hammer is, but I'm guessing it's some sort of close ranged weapon. Could be wrong. Next, we've got the all-terrain personal transport. Once again, another type of walker. This one's a smaller version as well. This is a single pilot vehicle with the armaments of a twin blaster cannon and a concussion grenade launcher. I think this would be a great unit to have for the Imperials. Next, we've got a ground vehicle, the MTV-4 light vehicle. Is a single-person agile attack vehicle. Being that it was an open-air cockpit, the pilot was vulnerable, even though it was very fast. It was armed with a single blaster cannon. This would be a great option to the Empires. It would be a ground version of the air speeder, I believe. It could be a very easy version of the ground speeder, but without the compulsory move. Next, we've got heavy category. The 2-M hover tank is a hovercraft vehicle that was equipped with medium twin laser turret and 2 heavy laser cannons. They tended to be quite slow, but they were very they were armed very well. Next, we have the Imperial assault tank. There's not much known about this vehicle. It appeared in one comic book, one recent comic book, the Skywalker series. It basically looks like a variation of the old hover tank from the droid army. I could be wrong, but it looks like a version of that. A repulsor tank. I think it would be very similar to stats as the ATST. Next, we go to the Legends. Legends is anything, well, obviously anything that's not canon. But here we go. First, General Freya Koval. He was a general in the Imperial Army under Grand Admiral Thrawn during his offensive against the New Republic. He was also Veer's first officer during the assault on Hoth. I'm trying to find good candidates for commanders, and it's been hard. There are a lot of great leaders in Star Wars, but unfortunately, most of them are part of the Navy and not ground leaders. And that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on here. There were plenty of commanders, plenty of leaders I could have brought in that are canon, but most of them are naval based, basically space based. Didn't want to bring those in too much. Next, I've got Grammel. Grammel served in the Imperial Army as a captain supervisor who was in charge of the mining operations on Sarkarpus 5. Didn't have much ground combat experience under his belt being in charge of a mining operation. But once again, I would like to see more options in the commander slot. Next, I've got Orlok, who was a commander in the Imperial Army who was in command of an Imperial training center. This could be interesting, considering that he was in charge of a training center. I could see his command cards being very interesting, giving a lot of options to the units under his command. Next, I've got Colonel Theost, who was a colonel in the Imperial Army, who led an assault on Picatorian. Yeah, there we go. He was later promoted and assigned command of security at the Balbringi shipyards. I don't want to give too much away because spoilers for books and stuff like that if you actually want to read them. To find out about him, read the Thrawn trilogy. Now we're on to Special Forces. I couldn't find any core units that I liked from Legends, other than, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Maybe I'll do a supplemental video if I can find some. But this is one Special Forces unit I would love to see. I know the Nogri are no longer canon. They are are no longer Legends. They are part of canon officially, with the introduction of one of them in the Rebels cartoon. But I would love to see the Nogri Death Commandos. The Death Commandos, Nogri swore an allegiance to Darth Vader after he offered environmental assistance when a battle in the Clone Wars during the late stages of the Clone Wars caused a scientific device to land on their planet and start corrupting and polluting their atmosphere. Vader offered assistance on that, and they treated him as a savior and vowed to protect him, to work for him. Vader gave the control of the Noghri to Grand Admiral Thrawn, who used them quite effectively. Thrawn at one point sent his Noghri to kidnap a pregnant Leia, but Leia traveled to the Noghri's home planet and was able to get them to leave and betray the Empire by telling them that she was the daughter of Darth Vader. The Noghri have a really fascinating history in Legends. You should really, really check it out. Even if you just go check out the Wikipedia, definitely check them out. Next, we have support vehicles. The next two vehicles are very interesting. The TIE AP-1, or the TIE Mauler, was equipped with a triple medium blaster cannon and a single pilot. It had a single pilot and was quite fast on the battlefield. This vehicle is a combination of a TIE fighter with the solar panels and a tank with the treads. While the vehicle's fast, it's not very well armored. Once again, because it's not very well armored and it's fast, I view it more as a support vehicle. The next one, however, is the Sentry Tank, or a TIE Crawler. Once again, it's basically the TIE cockpit, but with two large tank treads instead of the solar panels. It's equipped with a light turbo laser cannon and two medium blaster cannons. This vehicle is actually quite small. It is only 6.5 meters in length, so I think it would fit quite well on a table. Fantasy Flight might have to make a larger base for some of these vehicles, but I don't see that as an issue. Would like to see some new vehicles, more options for building armies. Another heavy vehicle we have is the Compact Assault Vehicle, or wheeled PX-10. It was a tracked combat vehicle that was crewed by one pilot and was equipped with a single medium blaster cannon. This one would be, I think, is considered heavy because it's well armored. The pilot is enclosed. Yeah. And it's kind of, it's not as fast as some other vehicles, so it's kind of slow. And that medium blaster cannon would be hell on units. Next, the operatives. I know Boba Fett is the first operative we've heard of, and I know I didn't do any operatives for Canon, and that's kind of by design. Canon operatives are easy. Canon operatives are totally easy to do, just because you have all the bounty hunters, you've got so many different options. So I was more going to look at this. Heck, you could even, I didn't put her on here, but just think about it. You could actually put Mara Jade as the Emperor's hand on here, which would be awesome. Before she flipped and ended up falling in love with Luke and getting married and have children. But anyway, this one is Villar, who was an information broker who usually ended up working for the Empire as they paid the most. He was a skilled warrior and spy. That has some potential there. Quite a bit of potential for abilities. I don't know exactly what kind of abilities FFG could put into the game without making him broke, but could be interesting. And the fact that he's a skilled warrior, being a Deveronian, I think he'd be good on the battlefield. And that's all for what I'd like to see brought into Legion for the Empire. In the next few days, next week I will have a video up for what I want to see in the Rebellion, for the Rebels, both Canon and Legends. If you have any other units you'd like to add to this, go ahead and put them down in the comments. If you thought this video was interesting and you enjoyed this, please hit that like button. If you want to be notified of when I upload new videos, please subscribe and rock the bell. Until next time, have a wonderful day.